Toitu te mana o te whenua. Toitu te mana motakaki. Toitu te tiriti o Waitangi. Those were the words that PJ Perenara uttered on his way to Japan, deciding to introduce politics into the pre-game haka that the All Blacks perform, the traditional Maori challenge, leading into their game in Turin, in actual fact, against Italy. That they then had their worst game probably of the year was small consolation for what appeared to be the politicisation of the All Blacks and the politicisation of a game of rugby. The All Black coach Scott Robertson said that he was aware that something was going to be said, although in his post-match comments when questioned said that he wasn't or gave the impression that he wasn't quite sure as to what the words were, but that TJ Perenara had in actual fact told him that there would be something in there. And because Scott Robertson seems not to understand that you don't politicise the game of rugby, I don't think he thinks on that level, to be perfectly honest with you. He probably wasn't aware of the impact of what has just occurred. But I have to say, I condemn people who utilise sporting events, particularly national and international events, to promote their own selfish political agenda. And I don't care whether that agenda comes from the centre right, the centre left. I don't care whether it was to throw the Treaty of Waitangi into a hand bin and burn it. It should have happened in about 1841, or not. The reality is that sport is a unifying trait in this country. It's a characteristic that it brings people together, and that rugby, for all of its faults, its heritage and its history, is one of pride in that black jersey for all New Zealanders, as a symbol of our unity as a country, all races and ethnicities included. What TJ Perenara did was spit on that in Turin on our Sunday morning by suggesting that it should now, our haka, be politicised for his personal, and it could only be considered his very personal political agenda. Now, I'm not aware if the All Blacks were aware of what was going to occur. On the basis of media reports, and remember we can't trust them, but on the basis of media reports thus far, it would appear that the All Black management was vaguely aware without any specificity as to what was to be said. But can I just say to you, the translation of those words is, and of themselves, you would think, but I'll go through them. The translation of the words means, forever the strength of the land, toitu te mana o te whenua. Toitu te mana motuhake means forever the strength of independence. Toitu te tiriti o Waitangi, forever the Treaty of Waitangi. Now, you see, the problem with that is, which independence was TJ Perenara talking about? Which independence would that be? And forever the Treaty of Waitangi. In the current political environment, everybody knew what that referred to, what that meant, what his political sympathies were. He's been woke for a very long time, has this man. Good luck in Japan, can I just say, where they will be intolerant of your own personal self-entitlement, I have to say, because that is a country that's very much predicated upon social cohesion. You step outside that, you're in a lot of trouble. He won't be doing that in Japan. But I'm just saying, your thoughts on this one as well. I think it's the slippery slope. I think that if the haka is going to be weaponized against two-thirds of New Zealand, as it was on Sunday morning, then get rid of the haka. That is not a unifying dance or performance. That is not a challenge. And seriously, it's Italians you're facing. I mean, that's the amazing thing about this. It's Italians that they were facing. They weren't facing the government. They weren't facing Michael Laws or the two-thirds of New Zealand that believe that the Treaty Principles Bills, according to the most recent polls, is a good thing. They were playing Italians. I'm sure, can I just say, in the challenge that was laid to the Italian rugby team, they would have been going, what? Or whatever the Italian equivalent would be. The bemusement. I mean, they wouldn't have known any of the words to start with. They sort of got the idea and they sort of worked out after the tongue and the eye rolling and stuff like that. You don't like us. Okay, all right, that's fine. Here we go. And boy, they went actually. Much more than Italian. That wasn't the Italian military, I would say. They didn't just have one reverse gear. They did very well for themselves, considering. But can I just say that Perenara, in actual fact, chose a selfish political agenda. He has revolutionised, I think, the haka. And there's no condemnation from the All Black management. I sort of wouldn't expect it from them. But I would expect the New Zealand Rugby Union today to have said something. I would have said that's not appropriate. I would have expected them to say, no. That was not a considered or responsible choice, considering we are a game for everyone. Can I just say, that haka made me not want to support the All Blacks. That haka actually said to me, we don't belong to you. We have political views and agenda that are different to yours. And that's the end of it. All right? That's listen, it doesn't matter if you agree with Perenara or not. It doesn't matter if the majority of New Zealanders agreed with Perenara. But when you seek to turn a haka into a political statement for your own personal entertainment and aggrandizement, there is something wrong with you. And the fact that there's been a deafening silence from the New Zealand Rugby Union today is telling me one thing. You approve, you assent, you've decided that the politicisation of the haka is fine, and you've also decided that anybody who doesn't agree with the political sentiments of TJ Perenara can go jump. You know, rugby's in a lot of trouble in this country, just quietly. An awful lot of trouble. People aren't watching the game. It's become a very boring stop-start game. It's not great entertainment. You go along almost out of nostalgia rather than out of any desire to be entertained anymore. There's plenty of competition over there. There's plenty of mothers stopping kids playing rugby for fear of concussion, and I have to say those fears are legitimate. I wouldn't have thought you wanted to piss everybody off as well, but hey, go for your life.